Hello, my name's Amber. I'm a flower farmer florist from Blooms on the Hill in Budgeree and making you seasick. I've got a farmer's market tomorrow, so I thought I'd show you what goes on, what's my process for that. I have begun harvesting. I started picking some flowers yesterday, so I've got some zinnias. There's 2 buckets of those. And straw flowers. I don't normally take fresh straw flowers, but I'm going to. There's 2 buckets of those and they look really nice. And then I've got a bucket there of white dahlias, mixed varieties. Just tripped over some apples. Yellows, peaches and pinky ones down here. And there's sort of reds and burgundies. I don't normally try and pick too much with my colour buckets in mind. I usually just harvest and away we go. But I've been a little bit more careful today. I don't know why, but I have. So this, I just thought I'd just show you what I do, because farmers markets never used to really work for me, but now I have got onto a method that they do. So they are actually profitable for me, which is good. So I just get all my buckets ready. There was a few more here before, but obviously I've picked some flowers. And then I just take them down to my cutting area, which is down there. Ignore the weeds. It gets out of control at the end of the season. So mid-harvesting, normally it takes me a while. So we'll just keep up with it. The dahlias are really on their last legs. Some of them with the yellowing leaves, and you can tell because the flowers, they're just, the stems are really thin and weak. That's normal. It's all normal. They're amazing that they're still blooming now. Incredibly, I have done a fair bit. Now I've noticed a lot of like new foliage and an awful lot of buds. This has just got buds. And there was one down here that had a heap of buds. See, this has got lots of buds and new foliage. Because I cut really hard, this one here is got a lot of powder and mildew all over it, because this one I just don't really pick that much. It just doesn't hold together well. I really wanted this one. This is Nayap. It would be all right in bouquets. When they've got the open faces like that, the bees go to those first because it's easy to get to the pollen. And once they're pollinated, the flower starts to fall apart, so they don't last very well going to a market. But yeah, there's lots of new growth and lots of buds. So it's been good. Anyway, I'll keep going. Oh, actually, this is one that I noticed where there was heaps of buds. This is dragon's blood. This one, I've just harvested some of that. It's a lovely red one, and there's heaps of new growth and lovely buds. So that's good. Anyway, I'm just going to keep harvesting from this flower patch area and get probably the last of it in maybe a couple of buckets. And then I'm going to go down to my paddock. I'm not going to be finicky now about colours in... oh, look at the colour of my finger. You get really dirty fingers when you harvest flowers. They're really grotty. Yep, going to finish harvesting what I can out of here. And it's starting to drizzle. But I've just got to keep going and get this done as soon as I can, really. Yeah. That's it. Well, I thought I might have got 2 buckets out of this patch, but I've only got 1. Looks like there's a heap of flowers there, but you know, a lot of them, the stems are too short. The stems are getting really weak and floppy. And there's flowers too that they get all misshapen. And some are like that, you know, they've blown, they're too far gone. But if this weather keeps the way it is, it's really quite mild. It's supposed to be in the 20s for sort of the next 6 days or so. All those buds will hopefully open and we'll make it to the next week's market at Murray North, which, yeah, next weekend. So if we can get that far, that's about what I did last season. I got to the end of April. So fingers crossed. Okay, ready to attack the paddock. This looks like a lot of flowers, but these aren't all ready. Well, and some of them are too far gone, and some of them will have stems that are too short. I've already picked from the white ones here and the red ones behind me, so this is still going to take an hour at least, maybe a bit more. It's a lot of walking backwards and forwards, and it really hurts my hips. Me with the bad hips. But yeah, we'll see how many buckets we can get out of this. And then we'll be set. Then we'll just have to pack the car and make sure I've got all the things that I need, like paper to wrap up with and scissors. I forgot my scissors on Sunday. Oh, I was at Glengarry Market to borrow scissors. Yeah, so just make sure I've got all the stuff and then load it up. And then flowers get loaded up tomorrow in the morning. Anyway, get cutting. Definitely getting less. So normally I get 2 buckets of these Winky Cavaliers. I think I'm probably going, maybe I might get a few more in another bucket. The plants are like tiny, so they didn't get up. So normally they would have been about my height, which is not tall. I'm about 5 foot. So yeah, but it would have been a lot easier to harvest. And see, now I'm having to cut blooms and cut right down the base. And some plants I'm just cutting so the plant is completely gone. But we're just going to get as much as we can, might as well, because they're only going to die out here in the paddock. So might as well just cut as much as I can and take it with me. Hopefully I can get a bit more. And I'm actually onto my 3rd bucket of Winky Cavaliers, so I might as well get as many as I can that are good. A lot of these, like that's too far gone. There's some here where you can see the centre. Some of them, the stems, well, they're sort of short stems because you can see where I've cut one there previously. So it's, I mean, there seems to be a lot there, but they're not all, and I can't really cut them all. So in terms of how much to cut to take to a market, yeah, that's the trick. So you never really know how much to cut. Basically with dahlias, for example, just, cut as much as you can really, and how much you can fit in your car or your van or whatever your vehicle is. I can fit probably about 25 buckets of flowers in my car. I've got an SUV thing. Hopefully I will upgrade to a ute with a canopy. It won't be a fancy ute, it'll be secondhand, but that's the plan. But really, you might as well just cut what you've got, because once they blow over, then, they're gone. In terms of how much I sell at a market, it varies depending on the market, depending on the day, depending on the people, depending which one. So that, I can't really give you a definitive answer either. But yeah, look, I always bring flowers home with me. That always happens. And yeah, so look, I'm just going to cut as much as I can take. There's definitely going to be less this time because just the flowers are starting to go over. For example, out of my flower patch, I didn't get anywhere near as much, although this morning I did cut for a vase arrangement and I did make it quite full. So there's probably, well, there was 2 buckets of flowers that were used up there. So yeah, look, the dahlias love being cut, so the more I cut, the more you get. At the end of the season, of course, this could be about it really, but yeah, I would just take as much as you can fit really, without going overboard. That's not really very helpful, is it? Yeah, I'd take as much as I could fit in the car, and it just makes your display look really good. Yeah, so I'm kind of working on that at the moment. There's still a few of these. I reckon I'm gonna have the 3 buckets of these Winky Cavaliers, which is good because they always look really good. So as usual, it's taken ages to harvest, but this is what we've got. And down here, so I think I've got 15 buckets all up. And for the first time I have chrysanthemums. The red things are gomphrena. So there's not as many as usual. The most I've had was 25 buckets, so I think there's about 15 here. It's 5:45. I should be getting dinner. I've just fed the dogs. So car is getting packed, so I've this big bag that's got my sign in it. It's got tablecloths, a few other bits and pieces that I need, and another bag with string and rubber bands and pencils and textures and plastic bags and scissors and all that sort of stuff. And down behind the front passenger seat, down behind here, I've got my marquee is across that way, and the chairs. Now, in terms of fitting things in the back of my car, I have boxes. Now you can see the tables, there's 2 here. 2 tables there. And then I've got this bigger cardboard box which fits 9 buckets in it, and my crate here which fits 2 buckets. This one fits 2 buckets because the flowers, I mean it could actually fit 4 or 3 buckets, but the flowers, because they branch out at the top, they get really squished. So I put 2 in there. This one here, I put another 2, and then I wedge empty buckets in so that they all don't move around. So I can fit them in there. And I've also got a bucket on the back. Oh, not a bucket. I've got a, I've also got another box on the back seat and my dried straw flowers. So that's generally how, so I'll put more flowers in here. It's just, and I'll just want to have them spread out a bit rather than trying to wedge every single bucket of flowers in the boot, because then all the flowers themselves will bruise and break off, and as you pull them out they fall apart. So that's how we do that part. Yeah, pretty simple. It's like, you know, flower Tetris. Okay, it's at 6:30 on Saturday morning. Got my morning face on. Here's my car loaded up with flowers, and there's some in the back seat as well. So I'm just trying to get my daughter to have some juice. Got no bread, so I can't have toast. And then we're going to go in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so. Oh, I hate waking up early. Right, just parking my car. This is a market where you can't have your car behind a stall, which makes it a bit more difficult, but anyway. Right, set up. Standard setup. Keep things relatively cheap. And just a bit of a workstation for wrapping up. Now the way I do it is I make up bunches of 7 stems, and that's a market bunch, and it's $10 because you can't ask for any more than that at a market, really. So what I do is I'll make up bunches of 7 and sell them for $10. So I've made some up, so show down here, made some up. Otherwise people can just pick their own. Okay, so back home, it's 5 o'clock now. Good market, successful market today. I was supposed to finish at 1, and then I was trying to pack up, and then people were buying flowers from me still, so it was about 1:45 by the time I was able to get out of there. So that was good. I probably did another $100 in sales after the time, so that was good. So I came home with that much flowers, which is not that much. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets. I think I took 15 buckets, so that's really good, and there's not a lot in those, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, so what makes a market more successful now is selling not mixed bunches. I did sell 1 bigger bunch today for $40, which I don't normally put that down to do a $40 one, but I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a go. But what I do is sell 7 stems for $10, because I find that at a farmer's market people mostly just go to walk around, walk their dog, have a coffee, and that's about it. So they don't really buy a lot of stuff. So $10 is, you know, easy to spend, $10, and if they don't buy anything else at all from the market, you know, they go home with a bunch of flowers. So that works. Yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about how to do a farmer's market as a flower farmer. It's not the easiest way to make money with your flowers, because it's a long day, massive harvest yesterday, it takes hours, so really you're not making an awful lot, but you are exposing your business and your flower farm, meeting people. I suppose you're getting out there, and you know, I do get other work from it. I do meet people that then buy things later, such as like book in for workshops, take my little postcards about weddings. So they are worth it in a way for promotion, but they are tiring. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye.